Hello, my name is Willoughby, and welcome to another local voter education program. The issues we're going to be covering tonight will consider the Police Association and Mayor Mattie Parker. We'll be talking about, they tie together. First thing I want to say is the misconception. When you talk about the Police Association, we're not talking about the police. We're talking about the Police Association, which the city does not need a police association. It needs to be demolished, gone, cut. The police officers could put that money in their pocket. We pay the police to protect us. The police turns around and pays a lot of money in dues to the union, and the union uses the money to buy candidates, such as Michael Moore and Mayor Mattie Parker. Let me tell you a bit more about the Police Association here. What it is, the reason why we don't need it is because the police officers can live under the same rules that we live under. If you have rules, regulations, policies to go by, they don't need a police association. If a police officer is guilty, he needs to face the same criminal charges that we would. Same penalties. No better, no worse, equally. And that's fair, you know, that's fine. And what the Police Association really does is protect bad officers, is what they do. And what I have here is a letter from the Fort Worth Police Association. And you can read some of this here. And what this is that they are saying that Officer or Police Chief Neil Noakes should not have fired Officer Kroger for what he did to Carolina. Well, that officer beat the hell out of that girl. Okay. And I cannot find anybody, anyone, Police Association above all. I'd love for them to come out and answer, okay? There's no justification to do that to anybody. What he did, there's no justification whatsoever was there for that. I know Carolina. She films the police. She knows the laws. She knows the rules, and she stays within sight. She does not cross the line. This officer did not like it, and he let his temper get the best of him, and he took it out on her. But here's the Police Association. They're saying that Police Chief Fitzgerald should not have fired him. That's the Police Association there. That's the one that support Mattie Parker's with, Michael Moore, and I've got a list of others I'll show you who are bought by the Police Association. These are bought candidates by it. And here's what happens here, is this rule. We, the people, control the mayors who's in there. We vote on them. We can hold them accountable if we do it, but we don't. And the reason we don't do it is because the first thing you do, when someone like the Police Association, like this and others, take over a city, you take out the media. That episode's in my green screen. You look in there, and what I'm saying in the green screen, the media does not ever cover corruption in our city. It's taken out to keep people dumbing down. If they're happy, they're not going to do anything while this is going on. So right now, you may be happy where you're living, what you got, everything you want, okay? But you're living in a cesspool of corruption, of filth and dirt. I'd really love to see Fort Worth become a model city and clean this up, and it starts by removing the Police Association, number one, right here. And what happened here is the only reason this happened like this is that Police Chief Neil Noakes would not have fired Officer Kroger. No way in God's creation would he fire him if Mattie Parker didn't okay it. Mattie Parker, Mayor Parker, had to okay it through the city manager, David Cook. David Cook authorized Neil Noakes to fire him. And the reason why Mattie Parker did that, because if Kroger wasn't fired after the pictures and what happened to Carolina, it would have been a real big reflection on her, especially right now at voting time. So that's where she was at. She knew that this would be too much not to do it. They had to. But the Police Association doesn't care about that. They think Mr. Kroger should have stayed on. Okay? So this is terrible. But there's a book, and you can see the cover of that. This is the fourth volume by the Police Association, and I think it's page 198 or 189, chapter 18. They got a chapter in this one on how they managed to remove Danny Scarf from District 4, or it might have been District 5 back then, but redistrictized since then somewhat, and elect Carrie Moon in the office. And this is what they do. They really work at buying candidates. They have advisories. They put all kind of money in this to buy these candidates. And this leaflet right here, I just saw it. I put out leaflets door to door. That's what the POA is doing. They're putting out leaflets door to door. You know, and it talks about Pastor Moore. Doesn't say anything about Mattie, though. There's not much I can say. But anyway, that's what they're doing, is they're influencing our elections. And any candidate that has their name associated with them, that's their character. Birds of a feather flock together. That's an old saying, but very true. And if you ever heard of a jailbird, that's what these people are to be, jailbirds right now, because they are a filthy, dirty organization. Just like the KKK is a bad organization. The only thing better about the KKK than this organization, you know who the KKK, maybe not by face, but they have their own name. These people are masquerading under the name police. The name police should only be connected with credible organizations, not this kind of organization, but only respectable organizations named police. I worked for the Dallas Cowboys for almost 40 years. You won't see their name connected to anything that's dirty, not at all, because it's a reflection on them. This is a reflection on the police, and it's a bad one. We need to change it. Let's get into Mattie Parker a little bit. She's bought and owned by but like I said, this case she had to go against them because of her election thing here. You know, since Parker's been in office, there's never been a mayor like this that took away our free speech at City Council. And believe me, they make jokes about this, they lie about it. Michael Crane in District 3, he's made jokes. I got tapes of him about this. But actually, all you have to do is call the city and leave word. Ask the mayor, why did she remove the public presentation from the council agenda? We've been on the agenda since the beginning. It's the people's city, our right to speak at council agenda. Ask her why. Now, they'll probably lie and laugh and say, well, we put out a meeting 2 times a month for you to speak at, which is not true, because they walk all over it. They don't have it half the time. They can't. We went for 3 months without a comment meeting. And what a comment meeting is, make no mistake, it's nothing but a social media meeting. And a council meeting is a place where business is conducted. This is our business, our city. What I would love to do, if I was to be in office, is push for changing this from mayor and council to chair and board members, and the people are the stockholders. Maybe with that kind of mindset, we can get more people involved and get rid of this false celebrity stuff with this mayor and council crap, okay? This is a business. It's our city. I offered him $100 if he'd take 5 questions.
Mr. Willoughby, let's keep our comments focused on city council business and not campaigning, if you don't mind.
This is a comment, free speech.
I'm just letting you know we have to focus.
Censorship.
It's just not about.
This is a comment meeting. You don't have no general comment, anything I want to talk about.
Bob.
Anyway, okay. Tell me how to speak, okay? You took away our right to speak here. We don't have it anymore at council meeting. Other cities do, we don't. Parker, that's the lowest thing you could do to anybody is take away free speech in city council, and you did.
And yet, here you.
And you know what, Parker? I offered $1,000 to St. Jude's Children's Hospital just for you to answer 1 question. You couldn't do it. Same thing with Michael Moore. He couldn't answer 5 questions. Same thing with Gina Bibbins. Mattie Parker, I've gone down there, and you can see the video. You'll see for yourself. Here's the difference. Here's what I do, is I confront these people, and I give them the opportunity to defend themselves. And if they don't come out and defend themselves, I don't know why anybody would look at what I'm saying is wrong. I would look at these people, okay? That's where you need to be focused. They're not defending themselves, so it must be true. I don't know about you, but if someone says something that's not true about me, I defend myself. And that's why I have Mayor Mattie Parker, two-faced liar, on the side of my car. She said publicly that I cursed out a 12-year-old, a bunch of 12-year-old Little League team at a council meeting. And then I was banned for 3 months. This is a total 100% lie. It's a two-faced lie, to tell you the truth. And it's a terrible thing. It's a vicious lie.
One thing on the side of my car, it says you're a two-faced liar and you can't do anything about it because
I've
it's
read
fact.
it. Thank you.
And the difference between fact, what I want people to learn, and sarcasm, a lot of people don't know the difference between sarcasm and fact. Fact is when it's true. It's fact. And when it's
And until Mayor Parker retracts what she says, and I get a public apology, I'm going to keep calling her a two-faced liar. And there's nothing she can do about it. Because this is what local voter education wants people to understand. The difference between slander, sarcasm, and fact. When it's fact, it's not sarcasm, it's not slander. These words are out of the Webster Dictionary. And it's because Webster didn't write any words that I could find to use. These were the words I could find. Only if there was something worse than I could have found, I would use it. And there's not a more appropriate time to use these words on anybody but her. When you say I cursed at 12-year-old kids at a council meeting publicly, that's a barefaced lie. And sit there and smile and get away with it, you're going to hear about it from now on. As long as you're in there, you're going to hear about it, Mayor, until you retract it. When you do, then we'll take that off the car, okay? That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? So, but anyway, Mayor Parker is the only mayor I know that when she holds a public meeting, it's only by invitation. I didn't get mine. I'm a taxpayer. I live here. I don't know why I didn't get one. Did you get one? You probably not. It was only by invitation. It was at Dickey's Arena. So me and a friend of mine, Adrian, which is running in District 6, I believe, or I forgot what district he's running in. He's the only other person running that has done his homework. And I wish I had the money to help support him to get in office because he's done his homework. These other people running against him have never even been to a council meeting, you know, and this guy's done his work. So, but anyway, we went there, as you can see in the video. Okay, this is Mattie Parker's State of the Union. It's behind bars. The regular people are not allowed to come in here. Only by invitation. Get in there. This is all we can see right here. We're not allowed to come in here. Let's get in there close and see if we can see. Look at there. They got a guitar and all kind of stuff going on in there, don't they? That's your mayor, people, having her private party with the, well, this is with the puppet masters. The puppet masters control your council and mayor, and that's who they answer to. That's what this party's about. The puppet masters and them. So, anyway, we just want to say, look at here, valet parking, all this valet parking for her, people. And you know what?
Keep the camera rolling. Keep the camera rolling.
Okay. We'll see if security's got anything to say about us here. Maybe security might come out and say, get out of here. This is not in America anymore. This is a communist country. Let's keep it rolling here and see. If we move too quick, we'll see.
Morning, gentlemen.
How you doing, sir?
All right.
What's your name?
My name is one of the employees of this building.
He asked you guys to leave this private event, private property.
This is a private event that the mayor...
He'll leave it. It's not
Okay.
private. I'm going to ask you.
No, it's private property. We're going to leave, sir.
Private
Sir, we're leaving, but can I ask you your name, sir?
We're leaving. It's public private. Private property. Public private.
Sir.
Please leave. Public private.
The mayor.
Let me ask you a question.
Leave, sir.
Taxpayer dollars going to this?
Yes, tax dollars do go to this. Part of them do go to it,
I won't get
but
arrested.
this man won't answer.
Can you leave? Public private.
Just leave. Google it.
What's your
No,
name?
I don't have to Google it. Public private.
And this is at Dickey Arena. This is partly a city arena. It's a city official, I'm mayor, and we should be entitled to go there. But look what happens when we go there. Put a hand on him. Come on, let's Let's see you put one hand on him, okay? This man's starting to get balanced.
Tony, can I get...
Look at him. He's getting violent now.
The South Lot.
Oh, look at
That
him.
are trespassing, I've asked them to leave.
You can't
This is a
put your
public
hands- you're
arena.
not police. You're not
And
police.
we're not doing anything. They're just scared. They're
asking
protecting
you
the
to
mayor.
We're leaving. We're leaving.
Communist. You are a communist. You know that? You're 100% communist.
Have a good day.
This is public pride.
Okay.
I'm in the parking garage. Springfield Police here. and we'll have-
When my book comes out, we want to make sure what's going on here. See how they treat people? Mattie Parker does not allow people to go to her events. The peasants get run off by these people. These people, the mayor works for our city, is elected by us, but we're run off by these people.
Hi.
The mayor does not, look at there! You got it, I got it, Adrian. I got it. We only went to see our mayor, and this is what we get. So, anyway, let's move on to Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore is running District 5 for City Council. He calls himself a pastor. There's so many, I'll tell you, there are so many people now have found an easy way to fulfill their own wicked needs by calling themselves a pastor or a politician. Both of them. There's so many people playing politics or filling the air with political nonsense. And there's a lot of pastors filling the air, a lot of political nonsense, or pastor nonsense, because I don't believe any pastor would do what Mr. Moore has done. I offered $100 to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, terminally ill kids, if Mr. Moore would answer 5 questions. Pastor Moore, would you answer 5? That's $20 a question to these kids if he answered 5. And that is the premise of this job, okay? Well, he declined, and also $100 to his campaign. That's $200 I'm willing to take from his opponent and put in him. I wish someone offered me that kind of deal. I mean, it'd probably kill me. I'd probably have a heart attack if someone offered me that kind of deal. But anyway, I'll jump at it so fast. He declined it. Declined it. And you'll see his name out there with the POA and on his finance council report. You won't see POA on his campaign finance report now. They got where they hidden this now. When Gina Bibbins was running, which that's who's endorsing him behind the scene, you see on her campaign finance POA money, you know, where she got $50,000, $20,000, $40,000. When she first ran, she got about $60,000. She put in a PO box in Austin, Texas, where she mailed it off to. So, anyway, let me tell you. This is something else if I was to be in office. Or if I don't get in office. If we can get enough people to help us start taking back this city, I don't have to be in office. It's going to take the people to take back this city, to regain respect. If you don't respect yourself, they don't respect you, or us, okay? And we need to get in there. We need to put campaign contribution limits on the ballot, okay? If you cannot win with if you cannot win an election in a district with $20,000, you don't need to be running. You don't know how to manage money, period. I've been doing this long enough to know exactly 20,000 is plenty right now. I used about 11,000. I thought, you know, I could use a little bit more last time. This time I'm using less, but I've got built up a reputation built up, so maybe it won't take as much. But with 20,000, you can overkill with that. There's not that, you know, it's one district, you know, and you can send out mail-outs, billboards, signs, everything. 20,000, that's enough. And if we put a campaign limit on it, that makes the races more fair when people get into it, okay? So no one will be buying it like the POA is buying it, and the Firefighter Association and the Star Telegram is endorsing these people, okay? These three are the worst three that are hurting our city, that's blanketed and has hurt it, okay? And anybody that takes endorsements from the Star Telegram, Firefighter Association, or the POA, they're not credible people. You can't trust them, okay? That's all there is to it. They're just not good people. We might have people fire over the POA, firefighter, but over the people that take from these people, they might as well be taken from the KKK. They might as well, okay? They're all evil, dirty people, period. And some worse than others, I won't deny that. But nevertheless, they're all on Lucifer's side, okay? That's where they're at.
And do you know what the devil's Iggy's trick is? It is making people believe he doesn't exist.
So, and coming to that, when Michael Moore, and I didn't know who he was at first, but then I got to know more about him during these meetings and stuff, and I saw how much he works underneath Gina Bibbins. He's never spoke out at a council meeting. He hasn't been in no buy meeting, budget meeting. He's never done his homework here. He don't care. He's getting placed in there with the POA's money, and that, and so. But I did, before I knew who he was, whatever, I knew he had Pastor Moore, I contacted him because I offered all the candidates running for mayor and for city council in my district. If they wanted a spot on the local voter education program, I'd be glad to give them a page and they can express what they're doing. I had no problem, but they didn't seem to want that. But I didn't know this Michael Moore, and I called him and I said, for a pastor, you might want to change your phone number, Mr. Moore. I mean, his last 4 numbers of his phone number is 6661. Well, now that I've come to know him, he's got the right number. I'll tell you, I don't know, Mr. Moore, if you've seen one of these or not. It's a book of faith. It's written by the children of Eve, and it's got some interesting stuff in there. And I don't think you're, calling yourself a pastor. I don't know. Well, I understood God loves children. And more important, this race, even if it's just $100, but it'd go to children that's terminally ill, and you didn't do it by just doing what you should do for this job. That is what the job is, answering questions. That is the premise of this job. We got away from it, but that is the premise. This job is to answer questions. And if you can't do the requirements of what this job is, and give money to, Mary took the question and she didn't take her 100. Me and her both, we took both 200. The $100 I gave her and $100 I was going to give, they both went to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. We sent $200 to them. And we could have sent $400 to them if you had took some questions, but you didn't do it. You could have turned yours over and it'd been $400 St. Jude's Children's Hospital. That's not important to you. What's important to you is you. And I don't want you for a council member. I'll tell you up front, I'll tell you in person, and anytime you want to come in and take the questions in front of anybody, door's wide open. It's also a two-way street. Anytime anybody wants to question me, any question, I have a billboard at 820 and 30. You can see my phone number, my website. I'll take them, and we'll do them publicly, okay? So that's what we need in our office, people that'll take questions. And Deborah Peoples is another one that wouldn't take questions. I don't know. I've got to tell you, when Deborah Peoples and Michael Moore both talk about transparency, I want you to know it is really, literally impossible to be transparent and not answer questions. And neither one of those take the questions. Mary did take the questions. They're on my website. You see the video? We're shooting another one. I'm not sure. I think we got the 18th, Friday the 18th set up for that date. I'm waiting for an answer for them. I got to check and see. But also, we're going to open this one up to, we can seat 30 people in the studio, $20 a ticket, 100% goes to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you got a $20 you can spare on a Friday, I'm going to throw $100 in out of my pocket, okay? I'm paying for the studio, I'm paying for the cameraman, I'm paying for all this. I'm going to throw $100 St. Jude's Children's Hospital. You want to help us raise a little bit more money? $20, we'll take questions afterwards. We got a 30-minute shooting. I'm going to, there again, interview Mary, and we'll talk a bit more. We'll pick up where we left off at so you can know each candidate a little bit better and make an educational decision is what I want you to do. And that's what we should do. Start making educational instead of voting by the color of their hair, because I ain't got a chance then. But anyway, that'll be on Friday night. We'll double check my website, and we're going to try to nail that down at $20 a seat. If you want to come out and join us, fantastic. It looks like it'll be 6 to 8 p.m. Like I said, the first half hour will be shooting, another half hour we take questions or so for whatever and that. And also, I'm going to invite Chris Nettles to see if he wants to shoot from 7 to 8 or not. I have the extra time too, and we'll see if he takes it up. He says his door is always open for questions, so we'll open it up to that too if he wants to come out or not. We're going to make the most out of it. But if you want to help us raise a little bit of money at charity, ask some questions. There's 30 seats available, and I'll be advertising between now, and you'll pay at the door. Contact me through my website ahead of time. Let us know. Contact us before you come out. I'll have the numbers on the thing. Contact the numbers. Make sure that there's seats available. There may be plenty. Maybe no one will show up. I mean, but it's no skin off my nose either way, okay? But if you want to do something to help these children, I think this is a golden opportunity to spend a little time and do this, okay? So anyway, we're going to send this one out, and we're working at another video for me and Mary coming up to watch that. Check that on our website. Check my website out. I try to update it weekly. So have a good one.